Okay, welcome everybody. Team training. What's today?
15th.
15th. April 15th, 2021. I wasn't really sure what to train on tonight, and then I just kind of had some thoughts today, so I'm going to go with that. But first, we're going to welcome a new coach on here. Dee Brown, welcome to the team. Yay! Just did her coach launch with Dana today. That's exciting.
And she was on Power Hour.
And she's on Power Hour, and she's on training. Just getting it all. We don't want to fire hose you, but we're glad you're here, Dee. And then I'm going to do a quick plug for, well, I think just about everybody on here is probably registered for convention, but I think for the in-person, they're probably down to, a couple hundred tickets or nothing. Tammy, I didn't see anything today. Nothing?
Yeah, I think they're.
Are they gone? Okay, I didn't see. Yeah. I didn't see any of those threads. So never mind. Forget that. They're gone. But people sometimes cancel, so you never know.
I think I heard somewhere or I read in one of the threads that there might be a wait list option for the people that do cancel. So
okay. Yeah, I didn't catch up on those threads today, so I did not see that. So there you go.
Well, even if you're not going to be in person, still set aside the dates.
You can register for the online event, which is still going to be cool, but it would have been way cooler in person. So we're all excited for that. Can't wait for it. If you haven't been to an Optavia event yet, especially convention, or they used to have Go Global, which was also like Awaken. I mean, when you go to those events, you just come out obviously fired up, but you just come out knowing like you're in the right place. So that's what I really like about them is just gives you a really good perspective of what we do, what the company's all about, what the mission is, and I don't know, just solidifying our decision to become health coaches. And every single year I go, sure glad I said yes. Yep. I see some shaking heads. Good. So what I want to talk about, well, actually, real quick, if anybody would like to plug maybe one of their convention experiences, why don't you pop off mute really quick? Because I'd love to hear. Oh, yeah. Kate, I just saw Kate go, oh. Just a quick little something from your experience of going to a convention or an event. Or I'll just call on somebody. I mean, come on.
I honestly just think it is about being around the people that really make this thing. Because when we are in our small little world here, we're like our own little person in our little house, and then we have our little clients, and then we have our little team right here, and then we see the Valentine team, and we're like, oh, it's our cute little team. It's so huge. And then we go to convention, and we're like, oh. So it's so much bigger than you can even imagine. And so being able to be a part of that, actually meet Dr. A, listen to him speak, have him look directly in the eye and actually feel the heart of what this company is about, and actually be around people who are interested in you and your story and what it is that you're doing. I don't think I've ever been around, and I've been around some real good people, but I don't think I've ever been around true good people like we are when we're at convention. So it's good.
And then what Tammy just put, Team Valentine is 22%. Awesome. Now that might be too, like we're just all fired up and went and got our tickets right away. I mean, that could be part of it too, but I think we're in the right team. Definitely believe that. So does anybody else have anything they want to share real quick?
I can share real quick.
Oh, now we got two people. Okay, let's go.
You want to flip a quarter, Heather?
It doesn't. You can go first. Just don't steal mine.
Oh, okay. I'll try not. So I went in 2019, and that was not too long after I had started coaching, brand new coach. So the energy there is pretty amazing. Really they break into separate groups, and that's really good because you get taught from where you're currently at to try to grow your business. So it's not like you're fire hosed with different levels of people all in the same room. So you really sort of get guided by where you're currently at. And then of course the energy really sort of fuels you towards going towards what fuels you to going to what you want in the future. So hopefully that didn't steal yours, Heather.
I just had the thought of it kind of puts in perspective that you realize that the people there are just everyday normal people, like we are, and we can do what they are doing. So it kind of just made me realize when I went to things, especially because I think when was it, July, and I had just started in January, so I was fairly new. I had a slow move to start. So yeah, it just makes you realize that you can, you know, kind of like Dan always says, if he can do it, anybody can do it. It really makes that real. So
Love it. Love it. Thanks, Terry. Heather. Yeah, I think too, like it just opens up your eyes to the opportunity of growth for yourself. And especially too, because when you hear people's stories, you hear more than just the success, right? Which is kind of like a little bit of what I wanted to talk about tonight, but you get to hear a little bit of the backstory before they got on the stage. Yes, Kate, we get to dance. Healthy movement. Yep. Lots of sweat. So whatever. But it's fun. So yeah, you know, you just get to see like the perspective of where people are, because we see people on the stage, we see them we see like the shiny product, right? We see it after it's been all waxed up and you're like, oh man, they're so great. But you know what? They all started like we did. So, but I didn't even tell Eileen what we're doing because I wasn't sure you'd be here, but this is what I'm talking about. So I've been a coach for a little while. I've been a coach for 6 years. For those that don't kind of know my journey, after about 5 weeks, I became a coach. November 7th of 2014 is when I became a coach, because I had a couple people at work just saying, hey, what are you doing? And then Dan was like, you want to coach them or I'll coach them? And then I said, what's that look like? Well, he give you a referral credit or you'll get paid. You know, I mean, he said all the things, right? He said, you want to coach him or I'll coach him? Well, you'll probably be coaching him anyway, so you may as well get paid. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to give you any money. So that's why I was like, became a coach. So, and then I think I literally hit senior coach the last day of the month, I think. Probably just, you know, at 11:59 or something like, I don't remember, but it was pretty close, right towards the end. And then our second month hit manager or associate. I think either one, it was like really close either way. And then third month hit executive director, which was like really cool. It was after going to an event out in Arizona where basically all the Optavia money that we had earned, I spent on that trip. And then we were out there. And so this kind of will put you in perspective. Like we weren't bad financially, but we were check to check, you know, and we had a little bit of debt, but it wasn't like, you know, we were living in squalor. We weren't homeless or anything like, well, I mean, we're homeless on purpose now, but you know, we were doing okay. We both had decent jobs, you know, but it was all check to check. There was that lot of savings and all that stuff. So I went out there and Eileen had already got a rental car, and somehow the lady there like talked me into an upgrade. I didn't even realize it. And so then like it cost us another, what, like $200-300, like, and that was a big deal, you know, like that was I know, like it was the phone call, like, what did you do? Like, I mean, I upgraded to a Camry. It wasn't like I was driving a Lamborghini around and I was like, oh yeah,
What a
woohoo.
waste.
Yeah. If I redid it, man, I would have gotten something really cool. Like, give me the Mercedes. But anyways, I didn't even know what I did. But so that was kind of like that little trip though, was like my awakening vision into like potential of what this could be. Dr. A was speaking that weekend. Dan Bell was on the stage. So they called it like regional events. They used to have them. And so then I went out there and stayed with Doug and Tia Wood. So, for somebody that hasn't been coaching very long, like they're really great mentors of all of ours, stayed with them at their house. And so it was really cool. But anyways, that kind of caught the vision, then started running with it. I don't want to, sometimes you think it's just luck, right? That you get some of the right people with you. But if you're doing the work, that's not luck. Like that's just, you're putting yourself in the right position at the right time. And, if you didn't share this, guess what? You're not going to get lucky because you're not playing the game at all. So some of the right partners at that time came along. And so after 18 months of our journey, like I was able to leave work. Now in hindsight, leave my job of 20 years. Like I worked at Woodward straight out of high school. So I'd worked there just like a week shy of 20 years. I was going to work till 20 years. And then Eileen's like, why are you going to do that? I was like, I don't know. Just say I've worked there 20 years. She was like, well, do you get anything for it? I'm like, no. But so then I left because it made sense to not, like, why would I stay an extra week? So it was kind of like perfect timing though, because the girls were getting out of school. We didn't really want to do daycare. So that kind of like was part of the decision. If I look back, I probably would have stayed a little bit longer to make sure that our business was a little bit more solid, because it wasn't quite there yet to go full time. And so part of the thing I wanted to talk about tonight was perseverance, because, sometimes you feel like somebody, like you're like, I've got my legs, I've got these people, they're going to be with me. Like, we're going to do this together. It's just going to keep growing and growing and growing, and when I left, that was probably one of our best months. And then it kind of went like this a little bit. And, part of that too was kind of figuring out how to become a full-time coach, because, you become a part-time worker and then kind of figure it out, like, how do I keep this momentum going? But then some people that we thought were going to be weren't with us anymore. They weren't showing up for the calls. They weren't answering the calls. You could tell that their health was suffering. You could see that, all of a sudden their ranks are going down or their coaches are starting to go away. And there were a couple moments in our journey where, like, there was the talk of like, hey, do I need to go get a job? Do I need to go back to work? Eileen worked part-time. She was like, she have to go back to work. And there were some moments where I picked up a little part-time job. I think for me at the time it was mentally probably, but it really helped us financially, helped us a lot at that moment, because our income did drop off. Like it was that spot where we were like getting to that tipping point of like, can we do this? And, but we had decided that this is what we wanted. And I decided I don't want to go back to work. I don't want to go back to the normal life. So sometimes we just had to figure out what we needed to do to get through that season. Eileen even worked nights at UPS for a little while because we just had to make up for that. And
that was in our Dave Ramsey journey too.
That was part of that
this
too.
Was sort of like intersecting where we wanted to pay off all debt. So we were not afraid to work extra in order to do that. We probably could have lived off our coaching income, but we would have like not gotten reached ahead those other goals that we had. So we both decided together that we would just do extra, go above and beyond, and put ourselves in a good position.
So she lived on not much sleep for a little while, but we decided that this is what we wanted. This is how we wanted to live our life. We didn't want to go back to what we had before because we saw the vision of what life looked like further down the line. And we had to just keep pushing through. And at any of those points of those downtimes, I could have just said, this isn't working. I can't do this. This isn't going to go anywhere else. Like, I'm just not cut out for this. But we made a decision of what we wanted and kept pushing through. And even in those times of doubt, it's like you just have to lock on to what you want long term and what you really believe your goal is. Because I think all of us didn't get into coaching to not be successful, right? We didn't go, I'm going to set up my coach kit so I can fail at this. I don't think anybody's done that. I don't know. I think we all signed up thinking like, you know what, I could do this. And if doing it means a couple people, that's fine. But as you grow and as you are part of more trainings and hearing more stories, that vision of what this can be gets unlocked. And once that's unlocked, that's really hard to let go. So if you've had that vision unlocked and maybe you're not there yet, you have to sometimes push through that, and you've got to force yourself to grow. You've got to put yourself in those situations where you are doing something a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe that's training, maybe that's talking with your mentorship more. Maybe that's hiring a coach outside of Optavia. Like, what is it that you need to do to persevere and push through that? Because, you know, part of my journey was the law of the lid. John Maxwell talks about the law of the lid. Like, your business growth will only go as high as you do. And so this is what happened with ours. Here's Jason right here. Not bad, not, you know, like, I'm okay. I got some, had some personal skills, whatever. But our business went like this, and then it went right back here, because it's going to come right back to where you're at. And so pushing through that and understanding that, hey, you know what, the business, maybe it's not going exactly where you want. So look at that and say, okay, what do I need to do? Where do I need to grow? What do I need to get better at? Because we all have something to get better at. We all have something to work on. None of us are perfect. Even the intergalactic presidential directors have things to work on that they need to work on. They're making millions of dollars a year, but they still have things to work on. And so that's all I wanted to come on tonight. It was kind of on my heart, is just perseverance, pushing through. And once you unlock that vision of what you want, don't give it up. Because I know, like, last month was an amazing month. This month is a little slower. And sometimes we feel that pushback, right? And we're like, what's going on? This is just supposed to keep going. This trajectory is just supposed to keep going. The rocket ship's supposed to keep climbing. But sometimes that rocket ship runs out of a little bit of fuel, and you got to take a look and see, like, where's the kink in the hose? Where's the part that I need to go fix? And, you know, it might just be a month, right? It might just be one of those months, but keep looking at what you can do to get a little bit better each day, so you can persevere through that. Because you know, if we would have just given up on those times where we bumped against the wall, like, a lot of you wouldn't be here. And that makes me really sad to think about that, because there's so much freedom that's happening in all of our teams right now, and it's so exciting to see. But if we wouldn't have kind of like just kept our head down and kept plugging away and just threw in the towel instead, and I'd be back at Woodward, you know, walking into work every day going, I can't do this in the next 20 years like I was, a lot of you wouldn't be here, and a lot of you wouldn't have the chance to help people change their health and change their financial future. So I don't know if anybody else was feeling that, but today I was just really, it was kind of on my heart. So sometimes when you feel that, you just got to share it. So anyways, wifey, you got anything to add there? No, I just threw her on the spot. She's like, I wasn't even going to be on here.
Right. Well, I think I will just echo that there were times when we, you know, we were just frustrated, and we were like, is this because are we matching up? Are we losing because we're not matching up, or are we losing because we're like not putting enough in? I don't know if that makes sense. Like, are we just at our max and we need to tap out, or can we push more and get better? So that is where we would sit down and say, I think that we can push more. I think we can get better. I think there's ways we can always grow and always get to a new place. And so that was what we had to push through. And it was frustrating. Some months, you know, it's frustrating and you feel like you're hitting a wall. But we always knew that this was on the other side. Like you said, it almost brought tears to my eyes. Like, we wouldn't see all of these faces if we hadn't pushed through. And so that's always been worth it.
That's all I got.
You probably wouldn't have been living in 425 square feet either.
Right?
Yeah, or thinking that's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I live in 425 square feet.
On purpose.
On purpose.
I'm
Yeah.
not in New York. So anyways, anybody have any thoughts from that, or call that good? But that's just kind of what was on my heart today. And yeah, I hope that helps somebody out there, even if it's in the recording world.
Mhm.
I'll pipe in. I'll say like growth is hard. It's like it's that getting to that uncomfortable. And I can really honestly tell you that like 2020 was the year of growth for me. Like it didn't reflect in the numbers, but it reflected here. And like you don't get to see the numbers until you do take that moment to work within yourself and life like life taught me a lot, and I had some hard things that I had to go through, and I'm still going through them. And where they say the obstacle is the way, you know, you have to expect that resistance to come, especially when you make a decision to go after something bigger. Like it's going to get hard, it's going to seem like it's tough. I mean, just think like when you started your health journey, like you probably didn't think it was possible to get to where you are today, but here you are, here we are, and you choose to persevere, you choose to eat the feelings. So choose to do the conversations, choose to be attached to the structure and not the outcome. And just like Heather and Chris Wallace, who led on Team Valentine this week, and she said that none of these people, the people that she's seen in her team, were friends of hers even, and she's finding these people along the way. And I was like, man, that's like, it's just a really good reminder. Like you just don't know who's coming, and who's watching, and which relationship and which client will be that next strategic partner for you. You just don't know that until you do, right? Kind of.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead, Dana.
I thought I'd add something. I don't really know what, but I just keep thinking, we all have a story, and, I won't go back 5 years, but I've been coaching over 5 years, and, it really is important to be a part of these trainings, because we need to connect with those that have gone before us, that have struggled, and to be, and really just to be, breathe life into us, because you have to know that there's hope. I mean, we do come up, Tammy, like they talk about, against these obstacles, but it's so important to hear that other people like us have gone through them, just to keep encouraging us. And I just, you can do this on your own, but it's really not a lot of fun. But I don't think the growth happens doing it alone. And so Tammy and Jason, holy cow, I've had the opportunity to see you guys grow these last 5 years. And I mean, wow. And I see it in you. And you're right, it'll show up in your business, but might show up later. And that's where our business, I mean, it won't grow past us, but we grow. It is so much self-development. And if you don't have that, you're stagnant. You're just there. You have to tap into this. And Dee, you being here is just really cool. It is really cool, because there's the people you see in here are the ones you'll always see in here. And it's really exciting when new faces come in, because it's just, you're growing yourself. And it's just more than, it's just incredible. So that's all.
I thought you didn't know what you were going to say, Dana. Great job.
I don't, but
Well, whatever comes out.
Here, I want to say one more thing.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I was thinking back to my first convention. I don't even know why I went. I mean, it was like, cool, Optavia. Oh my God, all these celebrities. I was like talking to people like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. But I snuck into a room with Dr. A. And whoops, I'm echoing. And there was probably only 30 people in there. And I had my badge turned around. And then I hid my badge because I don't even know what I was. I don't even think I was executive director. We got a picture with Dr. A. And I'm like, ooh, and so like, that was really fun. And that was a motivator. Like, I want to hang out with them, and
Oh, I think you're freezing up, Dana. Or maybe that's our end.
Oh, well. Oh, well, it was a good story for myself.
All right, well, you have to tell me that one again, and we'll have to do that. But basically, you're a criminal at convention, and it's totally cool. So that's pretty much what you said. Okay, awesome.
I got a picture with Dr. A. Who cares if I broke the law? Yeah, it's fine.
Yep. You know what? Put yourself in the room, right? You just got to put yourself in the room. So, well, thanks for everybody that shared tonight, and I hope, yeah, I hope that helps somebody out there, and keep plugging away, guys. Because you know what? Even if you have a bad month, it doesn't mean it's going to be a bad year. It's just a month, and you can choose. You can always make the choice to really dig in and keep pushing. And, you know, 6 years later, guess what? We're still here. And 6 years down the road, we're still going to be here. And imagine where if you all keep pushing, if we all keep pushing, like where we'll be in another 5 or 6 years, like, just blow your mind. I mean, it's already something we never would have expected, right?
You'll all be leading your own team Zooms.
Well, yeah, that's kind of a bummer though. Thanks, wife. Thanks for putting the bummer on it that we won't all be together, but it's really cool. That's all part of it. Yeah, we'll do a reunion Zoom every couple months. So, all right, everybody, have a great night. We'll stop the recording here.